What's going on, guys? Welcome back. And today I'm going to be talking about Avengers Endgame again. And if you didn't know, I did my review yesterday on Avengers Endgame, and I think it's a spectacular film. I absolutely loved it. It was, well, I'm filming this the same day that I did that review, but I'm going to be posting it on Monday. But I thought it was a spectacular film. It was a great conclusion to the first chapter of the MCU, and it was incredibly satisfying, and I loved it. I loved Avengers Endgame. I don't know why I said that, it's so weird. I loved Avengers Endgame. But today I'm going to be doing a different type of video, and this is still the same day that I saw it. I still need to sleep, and I need to think about it more. I need to sleep on it, but I wanted to discuss problems with the film. And this is not an attack on anybody. This is not an attack on the filmmakers at all. The Russo brothers are some of the best directors in the entire MCU. And I absolutely love their work with Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and now Endgame. They are incredible directors, and I look forward to seeing what they'll do in the future. So this is not aimed at anybody in particular. But I just wanted to say that I don't think Avengers Endgame is a perfect film. And I don't think it is the best MCU film, and I don't think it's a perfect film. I don't think any film is perfect. And it's impossible to pull off a perfect film like this. And it's the same thing with Infinity War. Infinity War I didn't think was a perfect film either. But it's impossible to pull off a film of this scale and not have issues. So I wanted to discuss the issues that this film had. And starting off, I wanted to talk about how this movie kind of relies on convenience a little too much. So basically, there will be spoilers in this video for Avengers Endgame. I'll put that in the title. But basically, the way that Scott Lang gets out of the quantum realm, and I made a joke about this in my other video, and I honestly thought this was hilarious. A rat gets Scott Lang out of the quantum realm. So there's a 5-year time jump after the Avengers go and kill Thanos, and then it cuts to Scott Lang's van in like this parking garage that's been like underground for a long time. And a rat walks on the buttons of the quantum machine and gets Scott Lang out. It's like, why did you not step on that before, rat? It's been 5 years, but apparently for Scott it's only been 5 hours. But I don't know, that just relies on a lot of convenience. And the same thing with Nebula and Thanos, the like past Nebula, where they're like, oh my god, this is from a different Nebula or something. It's like, for some reason Nebula's like eye camera or something goes off, but it's a recording from Nebula from the future who goes back in time. It's so confusing. And, you know, I talked about how there's so many things you can nitpick in terms of the time travel and stuff in this film. And this is one of those things that you could consider to be a small issue, but let me know in the comments. Do you think this is a major issue, or do you think it's just a small thing? I just thought that Scott getting out of the quantum realm because of a rat was a little too convenient, but you know, it's a very small thing, and that's why it's just kind of the first thing I wanted to mention, because it's a small thing and it's not a big deal. So let me know what you think about that. Let me know about all the points I bring up, and if you think they're valid or not. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. Now, another thing is Thanos' ships disappearing at the end. So this is at the end of Avengers Endgame, when Tony Stark gets the Infinity Gauntlet, his own Infinity Gauntlet, and he snaps and he wipes out all the villains. And it felt a little cheesy, not too cheesy, over the top cheesy, like in Justice League where flowers start blooming. It wasn't that bad at all. But it was a little cheesy. It got a little bit on the borderline of cheesy. And when he snaps, everything disappears. Like literally every villain remnant disappears. The Black Order, the entirety of Thanos' army. But the thing is, the Infinity Stones, I thought, were supposed to be basically have everything to do with life. They came into existence from the Big Bang. They have been in existence for a while, and they're basically responsible for life in the universe as it is. But Tony, when he snaps, and I understand that I don't really this is because they don't really explain the snap very well. But I think it's because you imagine in your mind what you want to disappear, and then it does. But Tony snaps, and literally everything disappears. Not just the Leviathan creature from the first Avengers, from the Chitauri. That's fine. That's fine, because that is a living being from what we know. It's been just like mechanized to be like basically a warship. But the ships disappear. Thanos' giant mothership, whatever the heck it's called, disappears. The Sanctuary 2 or something. It disappears. So all the ships disappear. That's a little cheesy. I don't know. Let me know if you think that's a problem. That's why it's also... Because a lot of these things I'm bringing up are kind of nitpicks, but some of them are major issues of the film. But yeah, these ones that I'm bringing up here are small issues. Let me know what you thought of that in the comments as well. Now, this is not really a problem with the film, but it's kind of something that I have a little bit of an issue with personally because they tried to set it up as such a big thing. Was Captain Marvel is basically pointless in this film. She has one purpose. It's to save Tony Stark and Nebula at the beginning. And she just disappears for the rest of the movie until the final battle. And even in the final battle, she's not really that important. Because they misdirected you with Captain Marvel, where in the post-credit scene she shows up, where's Fury? But in this movie, it happens completely differently. So that never played out that way. And they really misdirect you because it's like Nick Fury would only call Captain Marvel in emergencies if we really needed them. If they really needed her. And then she's not even in the middle of the movie. She doesn't time travel with them. She doesn't do any of that. She's just like, shows up in the final battle and beats some people up. But it comes down to Tony in the end anyway, so she's completely pointless. So that's just something that I kind of have an issue with personally, which is that they set it up from the end of Infinity War to be such a big deal. And she's utterly pointless. She doesn't really do anything. She's not necessary. She's not really as powerful as they say. And that basically I enjoyed the film Captain Marvel. It's probably the weakest film I've seen so far in 2019. But I still enjoyed it. There was enjoyment that I got out of it, even though I acknowledge that it has issues. But it basically renders Captain Marvel as a film useless. It's basically a useless film now. So, yeah, that's kind of frustrating to me. Then there's the female hero moment, which is where Captain Marvel comes in, she takes the Infinity Gauntlet from Peter Parker, and then he's like, how are you going to get through all the army? And then she's like, I have help. And then all the female heroes, Pepper, Mantis, Pepper in the rescue armor, Mantis, Valkyrie, not Black Widow. Black Widow sacrificed herself. Oh my god. Don't even bring that up to me. I'm going to cry. And a ton of the female heroes, Wasp. Now, I don't have a problem with, like, female empowerment at all, and you may be saying, like, well, you can't criticize this because you're a guy, and, you know, whatever. I don't have a problem with female empowerment. I'm not sexist, I don't have anything against girls, none of that. I don't have a problem with any of that. But I think it was a poorly done moment, and it felt so forced. And it feels kind of bad, too, in terms of, like, representation for them, which is, I couldn't really describe the way I felt about that moment until I watched the video with Just Too Good and Ashen Flash, where he says it doesn't make them look good because it feels like the movie feels like it has to have that moment to say that girls need empowerment and stuff, and like they aren't empowered enough, so we need to have this moment. And like I say, I don't have a problem with any of that. I don't have a problem with female empowerment, and I enjoyed Captain Marvel. It didn't feel like it was a film overly trying to promote any agendas or anything, to me at least. But the way that moment felt, it felt so forced, and I enjoy the moment in Infinity War. I think that's a great scene in Infinity War where Wanda, Black Widow, and Okoye fight Proxima Midnight in the trench. That is a great scene. It's a good action scene, and I think it showcases them well, and it's a natural progression of the story, and it works in the story. In this movie, it feels forced, to me at least. Let me know what you thought of that. Do you think it felt forced? Did you enjoy that moment? And I don't think it's necessarily a bad moment, but it goes by so quick. It's just Captain Marvel being like, I have help, and then, like, it just cuts away immediately after that. They don't even show what happens after that, and Captain Marvel just takes the charge, and Thanos blows up the quantum tunnel anyway. I don't know. It's just a really... That's another sort of convenient thing which you can nitpick is that, like, how did Scott's van survive all the destruction of the Avengers facility? His van just is still alive under the rubble. I don't know. That's a small nitpick. And then we have the Hulk. Now, in Infinity War, Bruce Banner was obviously a main part of that. He was responsible for bringing the information that Thanos is on his way to Tony on Earth. And a main part of that movie was he couldn't turn into the Hulk. And at the beginning of this movie, he gets in the Hulkbuster when they go to Thanos' planet, the garden or whatever. Also, how were they able to bring the Hulkbuster into space? Because he like comes out of the ground or something, out of like the fire of the soup pot or whatever. How did they bring the Hulkbuster? Did they bring the Hulkbuster on the Benatar? How did they get it there? I don't even know. But like the Hulk, I enjoyed the character of Professor Hulk. I believe they never refer to him as that, but I believe that's the name of the character in the comics. I enjoyed that character. I thought he was funny. He added a lot of great moments to the film, and I really enjoyed that character. It was really cool seeing the personalities of Bruce Banner and the Hulk combined to create a very interesting character. So I actually really like the character of Professor Hulk. It just feels like it renders Bruce Banner's character in Infinity War useless, where it was like, oh, is there going to be a big payoff in this movie when the Hulk comes out? No, he's just Professor Hulk now. It's like he turned into the Hulk and now he's just chill. Like, seriously? I don't know. It just felt kind of weird to me. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think of that in the comments. Once again, let me know if if you disagree. Like, let me know if you think any of my points are invalid, and if you think there's a reason why any of these happened. Um, Once again, I just saw the film today, so I don't really. And I still think the film is fantastic. I think this is a fantastic film. I just want to discuss that I don't think it's perfect. But yeah. Now then we have how the heroes all come back at the end. Now, if you didn't know, how the heroes come back at the end of this film it's kind of confusing. So basically, Professor Hulk puts on the new Infinity Gauntlet and he snaps, and the supposedly life gets restored, and then immediately afterwards, Hawkeye's wife phones him, and there's a phone call from his wife, and she's on the phone, but then suddenly Thanos blows up the Avengers facility, so you don't have enough time to focus on that. But then immediately later, when it seems like all hope is lost and Thanos is gonna win, Sam communicates with Cap, and he's like, "Hey Cap, it's Sam on your left." Great callback to Winter Soldier, by the way. But anyway, we're trying to be negative, but I really like that moment. When he said "on your left." But how they come back is really unclear, because there's the moment that made this really weird to me is I love Spider-Man, and I love Spider-Man's moments in this film, and I love the moment where he hugs Tony. But when he says, "Oh, so remember when went in space and I got all dusty, and so you were gone, and but Doctor Strange was like, it's been 5 years, so it's time we help them." What? That's the part that confused me the most, is when he said, it's been 5 years. So he says the Doctor Strange says it's been 5 years. We all know Doctor Strange had a plan the whole time. He saw everything. He knew it was going to happen. But it's been 5 years. So where were they? Were they dead, or were they in the Soul Stone? Even the way they come in, Doctor Strange creates all these portals of like from Wakanda and Asgard and all these places, and like everyone is there. But like, are they coming from the Soul Stone, or did they just come back to life? Because there were all these ideas before the film came out that like the people who died actually thought the people who lived died, but they actually died. Like, there's all these theories, but I'm really confused, because if Doctor Strange said it's been 5 years, it's time we helped them, does he mean that like we just came back to life and we need to help them, or does it mean that they had access to being able to help them the whole time but they just didn't? I'm confused. I don't know about that. Let me know if there's something I missed in the comments. Once again, these are critiques that I have personally. Uh, I personally think some of them are valid, but let me know in the comments if I just missed something, and if there's something you picked up on that I just didn't. Now, there's a ton of things you can nitpick at with the time travel in this movie, but I'm not even going to go too in-depth with it. I'm just saying that they acknowledge a lot of time travel films like Back to the Future. Rhodey has a scene where he lists a ton of time traveling movies, and they basically have one line where they're like, no, we won't actually create time paradoxes, and they don't, but there are a ton of instances in this film where things they do should have made time paradoxes and mean like that characters that exist in today's time should never have existed in the first place. There are tons of things like that, but they basically just rule that out when they're like, oh, well, we're not going to create time paradoxes, so yeah, that's just something I noticed. Now this is something that is the next issue I have is it's something that is consistent throughout all the films in the MCU for the most part. Is how Sam says, "Hey Cap, it's Sam," and he just talks to him through like these communication devices. Now, how do those work? How do these I call these the convenient Avengers communication devices because they for some reason they never show them. Captain America puts his hand up to his ear at some points, so it's clearly something in their ear that they talk to each other through, but they never show what it is. And it's in all the movies, and it drives me crazy. I am so confused as to what it is because Valkyrie talks to them through one at one point in the final battle, and Sam does. I'm like, okay, so people who are dead up until this point are able to communicate with you through these? What? I don't know. Um, um, I just have to go through a few more things. Now, the next part is kind of a nitpick. Is Black Widow's sacrifice. Now, I thought Black Widow's sacrifice was incredibly emotional and impactful to me, at least. But this is a moment that I really noticed and I thought was kind of weird. Is how both Clint, Hawkeye, and Natasha, Black Widow, are ready to sacrifice themselves on Vormir for the Soul Stone. But one of them, I knew the Black Widow was going to do it in the end. But you know that there's love between them, like they care for each other in the bromance type way, but there's never really like are the rules of Vormir and the Red Skull and the Soul Stone just that if there are two people that go to Vormir and one of them dies, that technically means the other person sacrificed them, because neither of them sacrificed the other. They were both ready to die of their own accord, so they were technically sacrificing themselves, not really sacrificing each other, if you get what I mean. So I don't really understand the rules of the Soul Stone. They're a little confusing to me, at least. And then the last thing is something that really confused me is Captain America's ending. Now, I thought Captain America's ending, the ending to his character, was beautiful. I thought it was a beautiful ending to the character. I'm just personally confused by it. So this probably isn't even a problem with the film, it's just something that I am confused by personally. So basically what happens is, Captain America, at the end of the film, goes back in time to deliver all the Infinity Stones to their proper points in time to fix the time loop that they created. And when he does that, he comes back, but he's like old now, which is, he wanted to become the proper age that he should be in this timeline. But then it shows him finally having his dance with Peggy, which I think is so beautiful, and I love that scene. But it shows that when he's young. So are they saying that that version of Steve went back and he lived out with his life with Peggy in the time that he left and came back in? Or are they saying that like a different version of Steve is in the past living out his days with Peggy? And so did he go back in time and change the past so that he never crashed the plane? Or did he just like, I'm really confused. So is this like an alternate reality thing? Are there two Steves now? Like, or did he live out with his days with Peggy and now he's just an old man and she's died already? I thought that was a beautiful ending to Steve Rogers' character, but I'm really confused by that ending. Let me know in the comments. So that's all the issues I have to talk about with Avengers Endgame. This is not meant to be a rant video at all about the Avengers Endgame. I thought it was a great film, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I teared up like 4 times. So I thought it was a great film, but I just wanted to discuss that I don't think it's a perfect film. I don't think any film is at that. But I just wanted to discuss these flaws with the film that I had personally and issues that I had with it. Some of them are nitpicks, and there are tons of things you can nitpick, but a lot of them are just stupid, like time travel. The movie basically just throws all that out the window, so I don't care. So there are a ton of things that they've kind of already thrown out the window, like consistency with vibranium and what can destroy vibranium. So I don't even care about any of that. I don't care about the consistency of the time travel, but there's some genuine problems with the story that I found. So let me know, with all these issues that I just listed off, are there any things that like I just missed? Are there any? Because this film is so in depth. There's so many, like, if you miss like one line, then you're missing a ton of stuff. So let me know in the comments. Are these genuine issues of the film, or am I just noticing stuff that, or did I just miss something? So let me know in the comments. Do you agree with any of my points? Do you disagree? And do you think I just missed something? But yeah, you guys let me know what you thought of this video in the comments, and I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.